Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Disney trip recap. So today I'm going to be talking about my 6th trip to Walt Disney World, which was in May of 2012, and I'm going to be sharing everything that I still remember from that trip. I'll be putting pictures in and just the things that still stick out to me and the things that I learned. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you missed, I've put all of them in a playlist, so if you missed any of them, I will link the playlist up there and then you can find the one that you haven't seen yet. So this trip to Disney was part of a bigger trip to Florida, so it was actually my graduation trip. I graduated from college, so we celebrated and I actually got to bring Ethan, so it was Ethan's first trip to Florida and first trip to Walt Disney World. So it was about a 10-day trip, and we did, we rented a house in the Orlando area and stayed there for I think a week, and we did SeaWorld, Universal, and the Kennedy Space Center. Kind of did that every other day and then spent days at the house. If you missed my video of why we don't do Universal anymore, I will put a link to that up there. I just kind of go through that whole experience, especially most of it has to do with my sister Alex, who's in a wheelchair, and just kind of our experience on that day, and just why I wouldn't really suggest it. But that's another story. And then we went to the Kennedy Space Center, and I'll actually put in the picture. It's one of my favorite pictures of Ethan and I. Just there was a bus that I don't remember if you had to park and then take a bus, but Alex was on a bus and we were waiting for Alex to get off the bus, and there's a picture of Ethan as his me in a headlock, and it's not a glamorous picture, but I love it. So I'll put that in. But this trip, so I managed to convince my parents to let us go to Disney for 3 days. So we had rented the house and had a car and everything like that. So we drove back to the Orlando airport and returned the rental vehicle, and then got on the Magical Express and went to Pop Century. Now, my sister was sick for the Disney section of this trip, which was unfortunate, but it was also kind of worked out that she was only sick for the stuff that she had already seen before, and everything else she was good to go. But because when we got to the airport she really wasn't feeling well, the Disney cast members actually put us on our own Magical Express, so there was the 5 of us, and we got an express trip to Pop Century because they knew she wasn't feeling well, which was awesome, and Disney is awesome. So we stayed at Pop Century. I can't remember if we stayed in a preferred location room. I feel like we had 2 rooms and one of them was accessible, so I feel like it might have been in the preferred location just because of where the accessible rooms are. But I have talked about this in a previous trip recap, but if you're staying at a value resort, I think that it's really worth it to pay a little bit more for a preferred location room, just because it's closest to the bus stops and the food and amenities and stuff like that, and especially if you're going with small kids, which a lot of families stay there. I really think it is worth it, and that's what I would recommend. Having stayed at a value and not paid for preferred location and having to walk very far back to our room. So I have notes because I'm trying to remember as much as possible. So we had 3 days. We did Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. And Alex, I think she came to every park, but she ended up going back to the hotel room early with my dad just because she wasn't feeling well, and thanks to Disney transportation that was possible because we could just make our way back to the room whenever. So we did, Ethan remembers we saw Wishes, we saw the end of Illuminations from very far back. I can't remember if we had Disney or dining reservations or went on Soarin', but we didn't really see Illuminations in its entirety and didn't have a good view. But we ate at Tony's Town Square in Magic Kingdom. which was the first time that like my mom and I had eaten there before and we liked it, so that was the first time everyone else had eaten there. We ate at the Garden Grill at Epcot, which may have been when Illuminations was going on, which we loved that when we went in 2007, that we did it again. I have pictures of some of us and the characters. Food was awesome. The vegetarian options are really good. And we ate at Hollywood and Vine and Hollywood Studios. We actually did the dining package for Fantasmic, and that was the first time I'd ever eaten there. It was okay. It was a buffet, so I don't know. I remember it was the first time I'd ever had polenta. And so then we got like reserved seating for Fantasmic, and Fantasmic almost got rained out. Well, I think the first showing did, but I love Fantasmic. Like, that music is some of my favorite music, and just I love seeing Fantasmic. So I remember sitting there for a really, really long time. I think my mom said we bought towels and ponchos to like sit on the towels because it's just like the metal bleachers, and to dry ourselves off. So we sat like the first show and they were like, oh, it might be delayed due to rain, and then they only showed like a clip, like because of the safety of the performers and stuff like that, so they showed like a small clip that was like with the flowers dancing, and then we went back for the second showing because we had the first viewing and we got to see it, so I was very happy about that, and we did that. I don't remember, I think we did Star Tours, Lights, Motors, Action, I think. But Hollywood and Vine was okay. I think like breakfast or lunch is a character option with like Disney Junior, so if you have small kids I think that that would be good, but just to go to not dine with characters, like I don't really think that it was worth it. What else? At Epcot, my parents saw Captain EO, and Alex was scared, so she didn't see it. And I remember sitting like in the like lobby, like the entrance of the Imagination Pavilion with her while my parents did that. And I didn't care to see it. I don't think I ever saw it. It was like right before they brought it back for a while, and now it's the Disney short. And then at Epcot it was Flower and Garden, so we got to see a lot of the topiaries, so Ethan took a lot of pictures of those and he really enjoyed that. And we went to lunch at the Morocco Pavilion for the first time, not the sit-down restaurant, just the quick service, but if you're a vegetarian there are a lot of really good vegetarian options there, so definitely be sure to check that out, and we really enjoyed that. And then I remember at Magic Kingdom, both of my parents went back to the room with my sister just to like take a break, and then they came back and we had dinner or lunch at Tony's Town Square, wherever it was, and it was like the first time that I had ever been in Magic Kingdom like alone with a boyfriend, and I was so happy, and it was just like, I remember walking around being like, oh, it'd be so fun to just come the two of us, which we did the next year, which the next video will be about. But I just remember walking around. I remember we did the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, and if you've never been on that before, it says like if parents are going with their kids, for the kids to sit on the inside, and I realized why at the end, and it's because the camel that squirts water turns its head to the inside and gets all the parents wet. So be warned, if you are going on that, sit on the inside so you don't get wet. And then I remember getting pictures with Ethan. I just had like a small purse, and I remember carrying our water bottle around, so there's a picture of us in the Rose Garden, which isn't there anymore, and we both have our, let's not knock over my lights. We both have our arms behind our backs because I'm holding the water bottle, and then Ethan did the same thing. But funny story, that was actually where Ethan wanted to propose, and after the hub expansion, that area was gone, so like the night we got engaged, he was like, yeah, let's like walk around, and he was looking for that spot, and I was oblivious. I was just like happy to be there, just walking around. So he wanted to kind of like recreate that picture, but that area is gone now, so I thought that was funny, and I'll put in pictures from that there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It was like a really short trip, but I was really happy just to go back for a little bit, even though I'd been there like 6 months before, but I'll take any time at Disney, and it was really fun, and it was just a nice trip, and getting to experience that with Ethan, like showing him for the first time, just like Disney was awesome. We'd been dating for less than a year at that point, but yeah, it was nice, and now he likes Disney too and goes to the parks a lot with me, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've been to Disney World 6 times, or even if you've only been a few, let me know what you remember from your trips, because it's really fun to like look back and see the things that stick out to you. And stay tuned for a few more trip recaps. We're getting to the end, but I still do have a few more trips to talk about, and all of them now include Ethan. So if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.